What's up everyone? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a Q&A video that I did from my Instagram. This is going to be basically questions all about the fitness division because that's the division I recently competed in at the Olympia, which seems super crazy to say. Also for you guys who didn't necessarily see, on my Instagram I did come second at Olympia, which is super exciting. There, claps from everybody in the room. Yeah, so today's video is gonna be kind of like talking through like what the fitness division is, like what to expect from it, as well as questions that you guys have also asked me as well. So hopefully you guys like this video and we'll get right into it. So I haven't sat down with Jody yet and fully mapped it out. I'm gonna be doing that next Tuesday. And so in that YouTube video that I filmed with Jody, that'll have a little more detail. But because I came second at the Olympia, that automatically qualifies me for 2024. So obviously for sure, we're gonna go back to the Olympia, which is super exciting and I'm very grateful for it. However, I do think I will be doing maybe 1 to 2 competitions prior, just because as a natural athlete, I do need some time to condition myself to come in, as the fitness bodybuilder world says, like more tight when it comes to Olympia, as well as I'm still very, very new to the division. So I do need more practice with that pre-judging round, which is going to be that posing round. So I would like to have more confidence on stage and just going through more poses and like, you know, really feeling at home there. And then of course with routine round, I really do think that it does take a couple times just to like really master your routine. So I would like to run it a couple times in a performance state before actually going back to the Olympia and then performing my competition routine there. So roughly I would say we have for sure the Olympia and then maybe 1 or 2 competitions depending on how they go. But it'll most likely be in like that September, October time right before Olympia. So the one, that was rocket growling. The one really fun thing about fitness is that you guys can make it whatever routine that you want. It's 2 minutes and the mandatories are doing a split, a strength hold, a high kick, and a push-up. And so as long as you hit those 4 mandatories, you can basically have fun and incorporate them any different way. So my background is calisthenics, gymnastics, cheer, and yoga. So that's why I have more handstands, more tumbling, and do like a really big straddle jump similar from cheerleading and stuff like that. So that's where I draw everything from. But then you can look at other athletes like Jacqueline Baker, such an amazing performer. She does more dance and artistry, and she's very like free flowing, and she just puts a lot of emotion into her routines as well. And then you have someone like Oksana or even like Missy, who has like a really great performance value. Like they have more of like their costumes and their props. So in terms of animal flow, if you're someone who like has animal flow and can do some inversions and can do all those mandatories, you could definitely make it your own, because I don't think there's many athletes out there who do those animal flow movements. So you can make it look really cool and spooky and, you know, make it your own thing if you wanted to. So because I'm new, I'm not super familiar or like have a statistic of anything like that. However, this Olympia, unfortunately, we did have 2 major injuries on stage. Whitney Jones, she dislocated her shoulder like literally at the very end of her routine. And then of course, Missy, everyone saw that she injured herself during her routine and wasn't actually able to finish. So I do think injuries are relatively common, unfortunately, but that's why you have to be so careful and just like doing things like your prehab work, like doing things to prevent injuries, as well as just making sure that you're properly warmed up and stuff like that can definitely help diminish those things. I would say for both cases, for Whitney and Missy, it was just like one of those unfortunate like freak cases, which is so sad because both of them are such extreme, like amazing athletes. So to see those injuries backstage was extremely just like your heart went out to them 100%. You just felt so bad. So I would say they're common just based off of like my recent competitions. But again, I don't know like a specific like, oh, 80% or 90% or 10% or whatever. So yeah. So no, for me, I was gymnastics, cheer background. The rest of the girls, I don't know exactly their background. I'm pretty sure Amber's actually also cheerleading as well too. But all of us have just like this like hybrid style coming from all different backgrounds, which is really fun. So that's why like in terms of fitness, if you're any type of like acrobatic athlete at all, or even just someone who's strong who can do a high kick push-up, the fitness division is completely welcoming and can totally make it your own. So if you're someone who does like say like martial arts, or if you're someone who does more Pilates or yoga, like you could definitely get into this division and make a splash, adding in your own flair and making the routine very unique to yourself. So yes, the Olympia is an open competition, so enhancements or PEDs are allowed in competition. There are specific competitions within the year, like Ben Weider is a natural competition, so that one is only for natural athletes. A natural athlete can compete in open shows, but an open athlete can't compete in natural shows. So being at the Olympia, being a natural athlete, I'm definitely mixed in with everybody else, and same with any other open competition that I would go to. I know a lot of people have their opinion about enhanced athletes and whichever, but at the end of the day, in my opinion, like hard work is hard work. Like we all have to do the same type type of prep to get into it. So regardless if you have enhancements or you don't have enhancements, like we're all working hard. So I don't think that should take away from anyone's success or their performance or anything like that, because at the end of the day, like we're all putting in that much work and we have so much respect for each other. So that's my opinion on all that stuff right there. Actually, I don't know how old you have to be to compete in the league. I feel like it's 16. I know Ariel got her pro card. She's the youngest pro. She got her pro card at 17. So I want to say that you have to be at least 16 years old to compete, because before that, then I think there's like a teen division. I really only know a little bit about fitness as well, so don't quote me on any of this. Well, because I am. That's why. So to give you guys an idea, at Reno, I was 6 out of 10 people. And then at Olympia, I was 12 out of 15. So in that physique round, I am a weaker athlete at it because one, I just don't have the experience, but two, something that's super important to point out is that I don't have that muscle maturity. I've really only been bodybuilding and training like a bodybuilder since April. So that's like 8 months. A lot of the girls that I compete against have been training for like years. So that more like hard, shredded, mass look that you get with maturity and just consistency, that's what they have. I will eventually get there, especially as a natural athlete. It will take me a little bit longer, but I can eventually get to the point where I come in a little bit tighter, have more cuts in my legs, roundness in my belly muscles and stuff like that. It's just time. That's why I would say it's a weaker point. If you look at it this way, I've been doing gymnastics and flips for like 20 plus years and then bodybuilding for like 8 months. So it makes sense that one would be my strong point and one would be my weak point. But as we get through and like go through this entire process of bodybuilding, this part will start to come up a little bit more and close that gap. So that way I'm not placing in like the lower placings of physique. To be honest, I don't really know, because it's not like a question that you would go around and ask people. Like, you're not like, hey, my name's Taylor, are you natural? Like, it's just kind of weird to do that. Obviously, there's certain categories I would say that look more prominent that they wouldn't be natural, but at the same time, like I said, hard work is hard work, and I don't really think that's like a point of discussion to like introduce yourself as. It's your own personal business too. Like, I really don't think people should be asking like, hey, are you natural? Hey, do you use PEDs? Like, I feel like that's very personal and someone's own choice. If they're open to talking about it, absolutely, but it's not something that people are just like casual conversation at the coffee table. You know what I mean? I will definitely not compete in other divisions. Fitness is my home. I don't think I would do very well in the other divisions. Not saying that I'm not like open to the challenge, but I do know I think my place in bodybuilding is definitely fitness. I'm able to grow as a person and improve on myself in the posing round, but I'm also able to do that competitive portion of the part that I'm good at of the routine round. So I'm really able to like mesh both of my worlds of like my calisthenic, my flips, my handstands, along with my strength training and aesthetics, and kind of like mesh them into this perfect little competition scenario. So for me, I would never do any other division, and I definitely will stay within fitness. I'm just trying to remember the first part of the question. Expectations. I had no expectations. I think I've said it so many times in interviews, like I literally walked in to Olympia being like, I'm already here. Like this was good for me. Like I was so excited to be there. And then in terms of my posing round, all I really wanted out of that was to just feel like I didn't black out on stage. At Reno, when I did my posing round, I literally went on and I walked off and I was like, I don't even know if I flexed a single muscle. Like I had no idea. I could not like make the connection with my body, which was kind of weird. So going into Olympia, I just wanted to make sure that when I go out onto my presentation round, like I actually felt what my body was doing, and that was my major thing. And I did do that, and I think I made improvements. So that was my own win from that morning. Those are my expectations when it comes to competing, and I think that'll always remain the same. We all work hard, like I said, so to expect yourself to just win, I think is just like not the best outlook. And to make goals of just like, I'm gonna win, I think it also sets you up for like somewhat of disappointment, because again, you never know the results. You never know who's coming in, who's competing, what they're gonna bring to the table. And so that's why I look for more intrinsic results and goals and stuff like that. Because I think if it's just, oh, I wanna go win, in bodybuilding, you're gonna feel very dissatisfied. You're gonna end up losing more than you will win. So just be prepared for that, and just make sure that you have a good mindset and you have other goals along the way to make you feel like you've accomplished something and that all this hard work at the end is worth it. Literally, yes, because that's me in a nutshell. I came 12th in physique, and then I came first across the board for my routine round. So technically for routine, I have the best routine in the world. That's a crazy statement. It seems, you good? You just wanted to be in the video. So it is possible to do not as well in the physique round, but do well in the routine round. Rock it. So yes, because there is so few of us, there is no like classes or anything like that. But even so, fitness is a division that when you go to like other competitions, we're just like fitness. We're just all thrown in together. So for instance, I am 5'1¼ and I weigh 103 pounds and I'm 27 years old, sorry. And there's people on stage who are in their 40s and their 30s and they're like 5'6", 5'4", 5'7", you know, all different heights, and they could weigh anywhere between 121 to 140. And so we're all on stage together, and of course we all look very different in physiques, but judges are aware of that, and that's why it's like when we go up there, physique round is 1/3 of our score, yes, and then the routine round is 2/3 of our score. And I think what makes it unique is that regardless of your age or how tall you are or whichever, you can do well in this division as long as you just present yourself well in the routine round and then have like a good physique. So I think that's what's cool about my division. I read this question when I was like looking through it, and like my immediate response was everything. I think even though my routine came first this year, I still think there's areas that I can definitely improve on. So we'll start with the posing round first. Jody and I have talked about it, where we want to go with my physique, and we just know that it's a building season. It's going to be a nice strong off season where I have some time to really build up some muscle mass naturally. Hopefully with that, my physique will place me a little bit higher in that posing round, so that way I have a better chance of placing even better than this year. But I also want to practice or, you know, improve on my performance. I'm someone who's just very like smiley, and I'm like, I engage with the audience with my smile and everything like that. But I do want to have a little bit more personality, and I think that's something that I definitely have to work on. So I'm aware of that. And then another thing is just like my dance components of my routine. Right now, if you do look at it, I do move more like a gymnast cheerleader, and that everything is more stiff and like wide sweeps of things. Like I'm not like a flowy person. So we're gonna work on that as well. I've actually contemplated signing up for a couple of just like fun dance classes, just to one, get me out of my shell, but two, just to bring more movement into my body, which will also help with something like my walk across the stage or my transitions in my posing, but will also translate into just movement in my actual fitness routine. When it comes to improvements, I think if you look at yourself an athlete and you don't think you need any improvements, I think that's one, very dangerous. So for me, I definitely know I can improve in all areas of fitness, and I'm really excited for that. But yeah, so I just know that I'm focused on just trying to improve on every part of it as much as I can for the fitness division. Rocket's a character. Hey! Anyways, I would say that's it for all the questions of my Q&A, because the rest of them are all pretty much repeated. But this, in summary, is what fitness is all about. And I do think that if anyone is inclined to try fitness, send me a DM, put questions below. Happy to answer anything. But I truly think this division is one of the best. And to see more athletes out there who are just willing to experiment and try new things, I think is really gonna be fun. And we're gonna see a lot of that this coming year, and hopefully years. That is it for today's Q&A. Nice, short, and sweet, and to the point. And hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully you learned a little bit more about the fitness division. And we will see you guys next time.